This game underway. This Atlantic Cup game here in the beautiful National Sports Center in Bermuda. This is John Broker with Jamie George as Saracens put it inside the 22 to one of the not-so-small USA Islanders, but driven back quickly in the tackle as Ferris comes up with us. Ferris moves the ball to Talapusi. Martini Talapusi kicked it quickly into the hands of Mike Ellery. And Ellery takes it into contact, and a quick infraction there by the Islanders. That's going to be a first penalty for Saracens.
Yeah, the Islanders are going to be disappointed that they didn't put the ball out into touch there. Obviously, off the restart, generally, I think they wanted to clear the field. Obviously, a bit of a shank of a kick and gave Saracens a good attacking opportunity. Mike Ellery's a real threat with ball in hand, so they probably don't want to kick to him too much.
And Saracens elect to put the ball down in the corner. We're going to have a first line out of the game here.
This is always an interesting one, first game of the season. A few new combinations, first line out, so let's hope this goes all right.
Ball goes in the center of the line out, well thrown as the maul comes down, and this is something that the Islanders certainly will have some concern with as Olive Khalifi, the captain, tries to come across, but held up fairly well by this Islander squad. And now the ball out to Ellery once again. 2 early touches. And there it is to Hayden Thompson-Stringer. And quickly, but knocked on there by Jack Ney as the Islanders look to move it across. Not wasting any time here. A quick break across the 22, and a quick switch pass doesn't go to hand there, so we have our advantage from referee Lacey. As Saracens regather, but a great early break there and some flair as Callum Clark comes up with the ball. Quickly moved across there to Nallins. Options on his right-hand side. Clark one more time, ball in hand. Vincent Cock takes the ball in. A couple of Islanders players on it quickly there, and referee Lacey thinks they went down too quick.
Good couple of carries there from the Saracens forwards. Callum Clark in particular, we probably got a little bit too eager in the 22, a little bit too flat off Ben Spencer at scrum half, and knocked the ball on. And we don't want to be giving the USA Islanders too many turnover opportunities, because that's where they thrive.
Yep, quick ball there, and we're pretty much back in the place where we just were with Saracens with a second one here with Scott Sperling, the 22-year-old, to put the ball in. One of the many England U20s in the squad. The ball goes up to the tail, and yet another driving maul being set.
It's a good platform that we've set there. USA Islanders might struggle from here, I think.
Slow maul goes marching on here. And Islanders looking under a bit of trouble as 5 meters out. This just keeps powering forward with these boys. You would be a specialist in this area, Jamie, as the ball quickly comes back into Ellery's hands once again. Ellery takes it over for the first try of the day. 5-0 to Saracens after a good driving maul there.
Yeah, I think whenever Saris get into the 22, they're going to be looking to maul, and it's something that was a big weapon for us last season. So, hopefully they will continue to get possession in their 22 and make the most of it. It's impressive work off the back of the maul from Scott Sperling. He's a very talented young hooker who's had a tough time with injuries recently, but it's great to see him out on the field, and hopefully we can see him in some open space because he's pretty quick as well. All
right, great. Yeah, we're just hoping to see a lot of good running rugby here. Now, that's one of the things the Islanders talk about. In those set phases, Saracens will train every day on that, and it's a bit of a different environment. That's always together for a week.
Exactly. That's always a difficult thing, I think, with any Barbarians team that you have. It's trying to get the combinations together. It's always going to be really tough. So, but the first maul they defended really well. Hopefully they can carry that on.
And the kick is up, gets pushed wide, and we're going to stay at 5-0 of this Atlantic Cup game. And it's Saracens down above 5-0 above the USA Islanders. And the Islanders look to regather and kick off here as we ease into this game. We have Martini Talapusi to kick off. Played pro rugby in San Francisco last year. He elects to go long. The Saracens take it down in their own end and just look to push the ball back downfield. And we're going to have a first line out here for the USA Islanders and see where they can attack from about 40 meters out.
Great kick there from Ben Spencer. He's a really talented kicker, probably the best asset of his game, and he actually kicks equally off both feet, which is pretty impressive. So that was what the USA Islanders should have really done off the first phase. But hopefully they can come up with a good first phase move here and put on a show. We have
Lote Tuipilotu to put the ball in. He played for the Utah Brothers and as well as Utah Select. 5'6", 256. Big Tongan descent as the ball goes to the front of the lineout. And Devereaux Ferris goes to unleash his back line, but a bit tough there as USA Eagles 7's player Matai Leuta at outside center takes the ball in, and Ferris looking for some runners there. It goes to Talapusi. Rushing Saracens defense holds them in as the ball now comes into the big number 3, Mangaloa. Quick recycle again, and some good ball work here as the ball is pushed forward there a bit by one of the Saracens players. I think we're going to come back for a scrum here to the Islanders, another place that might be tough.
Yeah, again, any set piece is always going to be tough for a Barbarians team. I thought that phase there just shows exactly what Saracens are about and what they want to do in defence. Off the line, starting with Callum Clark off the back of the line out. Massive hit there from Vincent Koch as well. So, we want to be keeping that up, keeping that line speed and putting the USA Islanders under pressure.
And this should be an interesting first scrum, as we just talked about with the lineouts and the lineout drive. This is a tough place to start for a team that's just been together for a few days. But Paula Fuka, the forwards coach for the USA Islanders, would have gone through the paces with these boys as Ferris gets set to put the ball in.
And good solid scrum from the Islanders there, really good.
And well taken from Ferris as they move it straight into the centers. That's Sonny Taylor. The Austin Hun takes it in. And the ball moved away quickly. Slipped out of the hands there, but referee comes in and penalties Saracens this time. And we're going to have a penalty. Wisely not going quick as the Islanders.
Yeah, well, that's the unfortunate thing, the balance that we need to make sure that we get right as Saracens is we want to put line speed and teams under pressure, but we don't want to creep offside in those and give them easy outs, give them easy possession. Good attacking opportunity here for the USA Islanders.
And the Islanders will have a line out just inside the Saracens' 40-meter line as Tuipilotu gets set to put the ball in again.
USA Islanders will be really happy with the base that they had on that scrum. Looked very good. Like we said before the scrum, you thought they'd be under a little bit of pressure, but pretty impressive scrum there.
Tuipilotu gets the ball in, but batted away by Saracens. The ball comes back here into the hands of Malins. Malins elects to hoof it deep downfield. Well gathered by the Islanders as Tiko Isuva takes it up and then elects to kick it back into the hands of Matt Gallagher. Matt Gallagher sends one down, rolling inside the 22. Matai Leuta can only watch it roll and a touch, but great position.
Brilliant kick from Matt Gallagher, and that's exactly what we want to do is put teams in the positions where they don't want to be in. Matt Gallagher is a good youngster, come through the Saracens Academy. Brilliant left foot, but he's also very, very quick. So hopefully we can see him in some open space as well.
I think both of these teams are going to be looking for open space here as once again a line out after just losing one to the Islanders. A very tricky place to have to go at it. As the Islanders shift a couple, and again an overthrow there, but it's come down into the hands of Saracens. To a jersey with no number, so I can't tell you exactly who it is.
Ben Earl, I think.
Okay,
Ben Earl, I believe, yeah.
All right.
But the USA Islanders will be worried a little bit about this line-out situation at the minute. Nick Ezekwe is doing a good job there for us in the middle of the line-out. Big, tall lad. He's actually received his first England cap this summer in Argentina. So very promising and up-and-coming youngster for us. And doing a good job there in the line-out.
Fantastic. All right, we've Saracens have elected for a scrum here, so we have a nice set move just about 15 meters in at the 22-meter line. So options to the left, although nobody over there, and lots of runners out to the right. As we get a view of referee Lacey there. And
I imagine we'll try and bring Chris Wiles into the game here off his wing from the left wing. Big, strong ball carrier, captain for us today.
Yep. The Eagle, USA Eagle capped, yeah. Excellent ball runner. And quickly the ball comes up there Out to Mallins. Mallins just can't quite move it on.
It's always an issue with first game of the season. I think an important thing for us to have here, an important job for Chris Wiles as captain, is to tell the boys just to calm down a little bit. They're going to be very on edge and want to put on a show and want to impress, but at the same time you can't try and force things, and that's what Max did there. So we just need to make sure that we do the basics very, very well, you know, and not panic and not get frustrated with not getting points on the board. You know, we're 5-0 up and we can be happy with that.
Yep. As shot of Ferris there, the Life West player. Also played with the Asian Pacific Dragons. Did Devereaux Ferris, about to put the ball in. We'll see what the Islanders can do with this set scrum. Last one was stable.
Another brilliant scrum from the Islanders there. Great platform to play off.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed here as the ball comes out to Talapusi, and Talapusi gets a good boot on it.
That's a brilliant kick. Absolutely brilliant kick that. From where he was in that position, to be putting Saracens back in their own half is actually pretty impressive. And it all came, again, from that very solid platform from the scrum. So they can be happy with that. But hopefully, you know, they'll try and put pressure under Saracens in the line out here. They've won 2 easy line outs so far.
And this quickly goes to the back there. Up to Isiowiki. Did I pronounce that right?
Close enough.
And Earl comes down with it. They have to pronounce the Polynesian names. It's challenging enough on its own as a high ball goes up in the air, but knocked forward there into the hands of Callum Clark. Callum Clark tries to shift it onto Wiles, and Wiles moves it back to Earl. Earl moves the ball across there to Griffiths. Griffiths moves it to his fullback Gallagher. Gallagher, Matai Leuta comes across and pulls him down. And scooped up and picked up here. We have an Islanders break. And does he have the gas to make it? We're going to see. Does Alexi just take it down? And that was Hui Hui. And the ball is quickly moved out. Rushing defenders up there as the number 7, Teo, takes it in. And big number 1, Olive Khalifi, capped U.S. Eagle, takes it in, but his offload doesn't go to hand. A little pop there. I'd say the coaches would be frustrated by it as Saracens regather off of the advantage.
Saracens just trying to put a little bit of structure in this game now. It's got relatively loose. Obviously not the best couple of phases for us, but Ben Spencer doing a good job here, controlling things. He'll try and put the ball up now. Big chase from Mike Ellery and Callum Clark. Ellery will try and compete here.
Ellery does get it. Oh! But Alatini Talapusi looks to have knocked himself out on that. And Ellery looks to be down too, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens.
It's a big collision in the air there, and hopefully both players are okay.
Hopefully both players are okay. Ellery in the preseason wouldn't want that to happen. And Talapusi, see if he caught him in the air. Not sure what's going to happen, but the referee is off camera talking to Olive Khalife.
Mike Ellery, just like I said there, doing a fantastic job of getting under the ball there. He's brilliant in the air, brilliant at getting back attacking kicks for us. So he's a big player for us tonight, and let's hope that he can get up from this one and carry on.
Let's hope he's okay. Referee Lacey having a talk there. We get a shot of it. So while we have a second here, let's talk about the preparations you guys have been doing this week. What's been the key to the week on Bermuda for you?
It's been a tough week. Obviously with the game here, we've almost split into the match day 23 and the non-23. The non-23 boys have been running hard. We've been doing a lot of shuttles, a lot of down and ups, not touching the rugby ball too much, a lot of straight line running, but it's been a really tough week for us. We've got another session tomorrow morning, but and then we get to enjoy Bermuda properly. We can have a few beers and enjoy each other's company.
There you go. It's certainly a good island to do that, so it should be a fun time. And then what does this lead into for the season? Season starts sometime September. You got a couple more warm-up games?
Yeah, we got a game away at Bedford next week. We have an affiliation with Bedford. They're in the league below us in the championship. And then the week after that, we're playing Timisoara Saracens. So, we've got a couple more games, but then, we're straight into it in a game at Twickenham against Northampton Saints. It's brilliant to see Mike Ellery back up on his feet as well.
Yeah, just going to say,
checking him through.
It seems like Ellery is back up, but Talapusi is still down, so we're going to have a few minutes. And right now in booth, we're going to bring in John Layfield, WWE legend and current WWE commentator. headset again, Mike. And we're going to talk about the Beyond Rugby program. John Layfield, welcome to the booth. Beyond Rugby founder, big part of this match. What do you think so far?
Look, I think it's very competitive. Look, you have an unfortunate collision here where you got a couple of guys hurt, which is very unfortunate. You know, it's part of the game. It's something you hate to see. But an incredibly competitive side from the USA Islanders.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about how this match came about and your charity, Beyond Rugby. Tell us about what Beyond Rugby does.
Beyond Rugby works with at-risk kids, specifically gang-type single-parent homes, low-income. We use rugby as our sport to get the kids in. We try to keep them out of gangs, keep them in school. We feed them every night. They come out to practice. We have mandatory tutorials, mandatory homework academy, depending on grade point average, and a lot of standards built around the rugby. That, in fact, we developed a lot of great rugby players out of it. People ask me all the time, is it a rugby program or a kids program? Mm-hmm. And the answer is yes. It's actually both. And we've developed some pretty good rugby players. When we first started, it was almost a 100% white expat sport. And now you see the under-19 team is 100% Bermudian. So we've seen a paradigm shift here.
Now, when people think about Bermuda, they don't think about at-risk kids. They don't think about gangs. You know, how many kids are served here on the island by the Beyond Rugby program?
We have 350 to 400 kids playing rugby every week because of either in our programs or because of our programs, and we have 90 to 100 that are specifically in our most intensive programs with Beyond Rugby.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like not under his own power, but
yeah, what a
collision came up worse.
Yeah, what a collision.
And we're going to take another look at it here as you see Ellery go up. Oh, sorry, that wasn't Talapusi. That was Saya Uhila. Went up for that.
But another thing that is so great is to have guys like Jamie George, Mauro Itoje, Owen Farrell, some of the best rugby players in the world come over. For Bermuda, it is a huge treat. Saracens, to me, is the best pro rugby club in the world, certainly European champions.
Absolutely.
It's such an honor for us to have them come over and also benefit our kids.
Mm-hmm. You know what, John? It's been brilliant to be a part of it as well. Second time here in Bermuda for myself, and it's just such an impressive program and something that it's a real pleasure to be a part of.
And you've had experience? You went out and saw the kids play?
Yeah, we've been in and around it. Yeah,
right.
Last
I know
time
a couple
we
of other guys had. I didn't want to
sessions.
put you on the spot if you hadn't been, but I hear some of the boys are really enjoying going out and work with the youth here.
This is the thing. Yeah, this is why we're here. We're trying to expose Bermuda to professional sport. And, hopefully put on a show for these guys because they work so hard.
All right, we'll be back in the program in a second as the ball comes up into the hands of Griffiths there as we're back in play here, and it was Uhila that got hurt. Sorry, I was saying the wrong name for a bit there on the Islanders, and he will have been replaced as Saracens come across to a forward pod. Running onto that is Jack Ney.
You know, one thing about Jamie George here, a lot of people talk about Anthony Watson with his breakaway speed. Jamie's the one that had the breakaway in game 2 of the Lions test that led to the try that tied it all up.
I was going to wait to talk about that because I just want to know what he was seeing and thinking in his head when he saw that space open up.
I don't have any recollection of it. Just blacked out. Close my eyes and hope for the best.
Well, sometimes those are the best moments, and that's
Exactly.
certainly what worked out. As the ball goes deep to Gallagher. Gallagher hoofs a high one up there. Good rushing defense there as a slip ball from the Islanders. And the Islanders regather with Ferris at the back of that contact area. Quickly to Khalife. Khalife finds some space, and that's the hooker, Tui Pelotu. The Tongan brings it up, and a tackle again there is Tiko Isuva. Tiko Isuva, a couple of good runs so far in this game, as the ball comes out there to the Vayamatahu second row. And back in there to Talapusi. Ferris has a forward pod set up, but a quick pick and go there from the hooker. Ferris finds a runner there, and Tui Alamaka, the second row. And we're back out wide with a rushing defense here. Leuta can just put a quick kick down. Great experience on the IRB circuit, Leuta. He'll be a big, important part of this team today as he makes the tackle. But here is the captain of the day and former U.S. Eagle, Chris Wiles. Known Chris for a few years to the USA programs, and shifts the ball off there. It looks like that is Max Mallins wide in the open.
What a brilliant try that was, and it just shows brilliant vision from Matt Gallagher at the back there. Great work from Chris Wiles, and I thought the most impressive thing there was Callum Clark. Great support play. That's what all good number 7s do, and for him to then have the vision to put Max away is is pretty special, and I think it's going to be a huge season for him. He's had a tough couple of years out with injury, and he's a new signing from Northampton Saints, and played with him for a long time when we were younger, and he's just such an impressive character, one of the most competitive players I've ever played with, so very great to see him out there and performing so well.
Jimmy, you played for some great coaches. One of the best players in the world, Eddie Jones, and Gatlin, along with Mark McCall. 3 great coaches. How would you compare the styles?
Very different, actually. Eddie's very intense.
Really? We never noticed.
Yeah, I'm sure you never realized.
It doesn't come through.
Very
He's
intense.
one of the best interviews in the world, by the way. He's so candid. He just speaks.
Yeah.
He doesn't enjoy the media, I know that. No, they're all very different. Warren Gatlin's very quiet. You don't get a lot from him, but what you do get is special. Eddie always looks at your package as a whole and tries to improve every part of your game. And Mark's been had a huge impact on my career personally. He's just been, he's again an intense character, but also very understanding, and his knowledge of the game is second to none. So I'm very privileged to have played under some very, very good coaches over the last few years now.
And an incredible victory down there in Wellington, the first loss that All Blacks had at home in 9 years. What was the atmosphere going down there playing the All Blacks at home?
Yeah, it was always going to be tough, but the whole point was you're not going to go there expecting to lose. You're not going to go there to try to win. We were very confident that we could go there and win the series, and that second test is something that will go down with me for a long time because. The atmosphere in the stadium there at the Westpac Stadium was special. It was like nothing I've ever experienced in my life. And
it was special to you guys the last 2.5 minutes.
And
when you got ahead, and then the crowd just left the arena. It sounded like on TV.
It was like that. There were a lot of Lions fans there, so it was brilliant.
A lot of loud Lion fans, a lot of quiet All Blacks fans. All
exactly.
Of a sudden, as Saracens from their own end elect to just clear their lines, and we are going to have a line out here for the USA Islanders, just about 30 meters out from the line. As that kick was good, we have 12-0. Saracens over the US Islanders. As we see the Islanders player headed off to get repaired. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Fingers crossed for him. The Islanders here will be looking to get a good, easy win here in the line out. They've had a tough start to it. It's always going to be tough when they haven't been working together for that long, so hopefully they can hit something here.
Tuipulotu waiting for his target. Target goes up, and they come down with that one. That's Mangaloa. Takes it into contact in the center of the field, and Ferris once again shifts it away. But a fast rushing defense there, and a bit of trouble coming as the Islanders scramble to keep a hold of that ball. Well done by Hayden Thompson-Stringer there. And the Islanders penalized for just trying to save their own hide there, going with that ball.
Brilliant defense there. That was about a 50-meter gain if you look at where the first ruck was to the second. And great energy and great line speed from Nick Tompkins, and he managed to get the turnover as well, which is pretty impressive stuff.
Penalty here. Saracens elect to go for the line-out. And just inside the 22, we're going to have another attacking line out here. Do you go for another drive, or are you guys looking to get more out of this game and look at the options?
I'd like to see a little bit of variation, but you never know. When the maul's going well, you always try and back it. 7-man line out here, so yeah, it looks like another maul.
And there it is. The ball comes in.
The thing with this at the minute now is that it's also a good platform to play off, like we saw in the last one. Hopefully this maul will go over. If not, Ben Spencer will try and use either Chris Wiles or Tom Griffiths there off the back of it.
John Lacey says they've been stopped once, but Saracens keep on rumbling down the field. Ball is in Dominic Day's hands at the back. Dominic Day, a bit of a journeyman rugby player, a lot of clubs to his name, now plying his trade with Saracens. As the ball rolls around a bit, and here does come Chris Wiles. Wiles looking for that line. Runs into potentially a few old teammates of his. He's played with about 5 or 6 of these USA Islanders, and turnover's okay. But ball spilled forward there by the Islanders just inside the 22, and quickly Callum Clark again featuring, gets a ball in his hands. He works out another big midfield hit from the Islanders as Earl moves it. The ball just skips in a touch.
I think the boys are going to need this water break now after 20 minutes. It's been a pretty intense first 25 minutes.
Yeah, this humidity.
We're not used to this heat now in England. I don't think you can quite appreciate these boys are struggling, especially Vincent Koch there. He's fairly fair-skinned. He doesn't like the sun, so I think he's getting burnt out there. So if we can get him some water and some sun cream, I think he needs that especially.
I'd say it'd be a bit tough.
Jamie, what did you think about the series? It was such an anticipated series, one of the best all-black teams ever, back-to-back World Cup champions, the first time that had happened, and one of the best Lions teams of all time. You ended up in a tie. I'm sure both teams were probably happy and not happy with that. What did you think about it?
Yeah, it was a very weird feeling, actually. I think, it was actually, like you said before, it was the first time that New Zealand had been beaten at home for a long time, and we actually put in a very good performance. The difficult thing, the frustrating thing was that they were there for the taking. We actually didn't play our best rugby in that third test. We had some good chances, we didn't take them. But at the same time, very happy with what we came away from, we came away with it from, and I think, like I said, we've got to be happy with it. And it was such a special experience, and there's so much hype around the Lions, and you hear people talk about how special it is. You don't quite appreciate it until you're a part of it. It lived up to every expectation possible, and it was just the proudest moment of my career today.
10 games, right?
10 games
total.
Yeah,
10 games in 6 weeks. It was a pretty intense tour, I have to say. It was, we were either moving to a different part of New Zealand, or training, or playing a game pretty much every day for those 6 weeks.
And I heard you mention in casual conversation they might have used geography to their advantage.
When
you one game in the north, one game in the south, and
it's funny that the New Zealanders would make us travel a long way in between games. It's a bit
that got us a smaller country. It could have been worse. Could have been in the States.
You're right. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Or Australia, but they did certainly use geography. So, how was it? Mixing with the boys from the other countries you normally play against on the tour. How the cultures? How did they get all that together?
That was the most brilliant part of it, really, for me. Getting to know people that you don't really know, getting to know rivals that you played against for a long time. You might have had a little scuffle with on the floor, and I've had some good battles. For example, Peter O'Mahony, who plays for Ireland and Munster, played against him probably 10 times, and such a fierce competitor. Always thought that he wouldn't be, much crack, wouldn't have much chat to him. Turns out to be one of my best mates of the tour, and I think that's what's so special about the tour, is that you get to know people that you wouldn't really know before, and become lifelong friends. And to be playing with such special players as that, with such talent, it's amazing.
And I just got good reviews. I mean, they're talking about the Lions now. People were kind of wondering what the future of it was going to be, but everything looks bright. You're looking forward to 4 years from now, hopefully going again?
I'd love to go again. 4 years is a long time. Let's see how the body holds up.
Yeah, we shall see. So, as our water break is coming to an end here, one of the young academy players, Max Ballins, we get a shot of there. And we're on to our second quarter of play.
So play resumes with an Islander throw-in.
As we come back to the Islanders line-out inside the 22. Tui Palotu gets it in. They opt to go to the front this time. Maybe a bit smarter. But it may not be open next time as the ball gets moved back down there to Talapusi. Talapusi puts a good one in. Ellery. Nice Aussie rule style catch, and Ellery heads towards the midfield and looks for a wide pass there. Gets the ball out to Tom Griffiths. Griffiths pops it up to Wiles. Wiles slips back in field, hands off one. Rolling on the floor as the ball comes up here to a big unit in Vincent Cock. Earl likes to go left and put a little chip in there, and this could be trouble as Tiko Isuba goes back for it.
Frustrating one there for Chris Wiles. Obviously, brilliant option from Ben Spencer. Great vision from Mike Ellery at the beginning. He's from a sevens background. He played England sevens, played in the Commonwealth Games, so he saw a little bit of space out wide and made the most of it. And I think you saw the strength there of Chris Wiles in the midfield as well. He's difficult to shrug off. So positive play there from Sarries.
Good. And they were in a good position here, even though it's a Islanders scrum. They're well inside their own zone there. It's about 5-10 meters out. Let's see if they can hold this one.
Good early nudge there from Saracens.
Yeah. As Lacey.
Too early,
yeah.
unfortunately.
And Islanders draw a free kick here. They're going to be pretty happy about that, I would say. Not have to fight their way out from this deep.
Yeah, that's frustrating from Saracens. You know, it's an easy out for the USA Islanders, and we've given them that. There's something that we're going to need to address. I think giving away a few penalties now, our discipline hasn't been the best. So just letting the USA Islanders off the hook a little bit.
A quick tap there just to move the ball out. Push the ball to the Saracens 40, but they take it back in quick as Gallagher takes off running. He's got Talapusi trying to take him down. He steps 2 or 3 till he runs into one of the big fellas, Mangaloa. But ball retained, and here comes Mallins. Mallins has runners with him, and the ball winds up in Griffith's hands again. And the ball, Ellery chips one ahead, takes a little shot from the shoulder. See what the referees will say about that, as Ferris can only take it into the crowd and through the barrier.
Got to be aware in the stands there. Anything can happen.
He's going to wind up here next. Saracens look
Can't imagine this is going too much further than a maul, I dare say.
Sperling sends it up. Oh, and not straight there.
Another relatively easy let-off again for them. It's a difficult one with Scott Sperling there. You know, these things happen, and it's a pretty slippery ball out there tonight, and it's always difficult conditions for a hooker.
Yep.
Let's hope that we don't give them another easy out from this scrum.
As we come back to a scrum for the USA Islanders. They were able to draw a free kick last time. We'll see what happens now.
Stay black, stay.
So Saracens, they're obviously trying to put the USA Islanders under a little bit of pressure with their lean. They're going to try and out-lean them. You can see, if you use the 5-metre line as an example, on the bind, we want to try and take 6 inches past that to make sure the USA Islanders then go back to then try and come forward. But the balance then is, you've got to have balance. You've got to make sure that you're not over-leaning and putting yourself in a bad position. As you can see here, we've just taken those 6 inches, which is nice.
Harris gets it in.
A very good scrum there from USA
held
Islanders.
again.
They've done very well.
Very impressive in that area of the game. As the ball moves for a quick early crash, looking for a couple of phases as a part of this exit strategy. Ferris pointing to where he wants to go. And a quick kick, touched by a Sarries player, but Ellery is going to have no problem with it. Moves the ball across to Gallagher and quickly to Griffiths. And he's got Wiles outside of him, but has to come back in. Steps a couple. Really starting to get the run on there as the ball moves out wide again. And Chris Wiles on the end. Can Wiles find the try zone? And he does. Try Saracens. That's USA Eagle, former USA Eagle, and Saracen skipper for this game, Chris Wiles.
Yeah, brilliant play from Nick Tompkins early in the phase there. Managed to get the offload to Ben Spencer, and Chris Wiles never ceases to amaze me. He utilises everything that he's got to get over that line. He's a proper try scorer, as you can see there. He's a big man, bit of a barrel of a chest, and he wriggles his way over the line quite often. So,
and now a brewery owner is what we hear.
He is a brewery over here, a lovely beer, Wolfpack Lager. He opened it up with our former captain, Alistair Hargreaves. They got a lovely little bus there at the stadium, and it's very popular with the Saracens fans. They love it. And,
you wouldn't have had one, of course.
I've never had one. No, I can't. No, I've had too many. I think I've had too many. They are very tempting after a hard game. But hey, why? You're allowed to have a beer after a game, aren't you?
That's right.
Right place, right time.
I wasn't sure how it was anymore. I just wanted to check with you.
We certainly get stuck into it, don't we?
Spencer, right? Spencer lines it up. Spencer, former Seven Oaks player.
And
Apparently quite a cricket player and a golfer is what we're told as well.
He's a brilliant golfer, brilliant cricketer as well. He's a very talented guy, like I said before. Kicks equally off both feet, very good athlete also. Been involved within the England setup a little bit, yet to be capped, but I'm sure he's going to be capped very, very, very soon.
Yeah, the future is certainly bright for a lot of these players. It looks like the academy is just really working here.
This is it. You look at the starting team in the European final last year. I think probably 8 or 9 of them came through the academy, which is exactly what we want. And we're creating a special group here, and there are more and more of them to come.
Talapusi goes high that time, and Spencer again called into it. And the Saracens clear their line. We're going to have an Islanders line out here.
I think you can see the comparison there between the way the Saracens are exiting. Oh, unfortunately, taken back into the 22. But generally, the way the Saracens are exiting, they're making it look easy. They're not playing around with the ball too much, and they're putting the ball off the field, which means the USA Islanders are under pressure. You compare that to when the USA Islanders are exiting. They're making life hard for themselves by going multi-phase in their own 22 against a good defense.
Once again, Tuipulotu looks for his target. Tuipulotu gets it again. They keep it at the 22-meter line as the ball moves wide there, but slip past there as it looks like Pili Hui has to come around and take it.
Again, very impressive line speed from Saracens there.
Yeah, the defense is something they're going to have to deal with there. Probably keep it a little tighter there is Mongaloa, once again, the Life West player. 6'2", 265 into everybody. Gets the ball up there for Veamatahu. Once again back, but forced to kick there, the facing the defense, and Wiles comes up with it one more time.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh boy, Wiles takes a step, and he's got some room to run. We'll see where this cover defense comes across. He's got a number of players with him there.
Tom Griffiths rushes away.
Brilliant
counter-attack rugby.
Suffocating Wolfpack defense of the Saracens.
It says Nick Tompkins there, but it's actually Tom Griffiths.
Tom Griffiths, all right. So we had a little bit of a number problem
here. A little bit of a mix-up.
All right. Sorry, guys. I called you by the wrong name when you listen to this. But we'll get him right. As Griffiths takes it in.
Griffiths, another hugely talented part of our academy, and as you can see there from him walking back, a big man, but carries himself very well. He's got a turn of pace, and he's been out for a little while with concussion, and it's great to see him back out there.
Shot there as we line up for the kick. About 35 minutes into the first half of this Atlantic Cup. The Saracens look to extend their lead to 24 over the Islanders, who haven't been able to find the try zone yet. The kick is good. 24-0 Saracens over the Islanders with just about 4 minutes to go in this half. The Islanders look to regather. And once again, Talapusi chips a short one, and
that's frustrating.
Straight in a touch.
That's frustrating. You know, it's again, like I said with Saracens, it's an easy out. That's something that we don't have to. You don't have to do. It's almost inexcusable, really. It's a great attacking platform here now for Saracens, though. Hopefully, a good solid base from the scrum, and then you've got both sides to attack. You see Max Malins here setting up to the right, and Matt Gallagher to the left. You can go both ways. You know, it's a very difficult position for the USA Islanders to defend from. So hopefully, put on a good move here from the backs.
Options either way. As referee Lacey gets another scrum set down. As this evening humidity starts to roll in Bermuda. Interestingly, it doesn't cool down at night. It gets more humid. It just the temperature drops.
It just doesn't stop.
So, slippery ball for these boys as Malins shows it right there. It shows and goes and slips through a couple. As the ball comes back. The big forwards a rumble. That front line forwards offense. And a knock on there as the Islanders turn it over. Let's see what they can do with it. They got some width out in the field here, but they tend to take it quick. There's Hui one more time. Does the San Francisco Gold Gate player. Again taken down in the midfield. And we're coming back for, must have been a knock on there. Coming back for a scrum to the USA Islanders. Just a couple minutes to go in this half.
That ball looks pretty slippery out there. Yeah. I think sweat coming off the players here is really getting onto the ball, and you can see a few guys spilling the ball throughout this first half. So, you know, there's got to be a big focus on making sure that you catch the ball early and then go into contact, because it's going to be frustrating for those guys.
Point! Set. Good lad.
Great scrum. That's a brilliant scrum there from Saracens. They had Hayden Thompson stringer making sure that he got the angle and putting the Islanders tight head under a lot of pressure there. Only a free kick though, so can't go straight into touch. Not too sure what we'll do here. Taking another scrum.
And taking another scrum here is our Saracens.
The front row boys won't be happy with that. They put in a big effort and then they've got to go again.
It's always somebody about half their size that makes that decision.
Exactly, yeah.
As possibly the last scrum of the half here gets set down. Saracens to put it in. Good little early shove there as the ball comes back to the number 8's feet. Into Mallon's hands one more time, and we got a little wraparound move coming here. Mallon's gets it back, and there's Ellery in open space. And Ellery's got the legs to run if he can get through there. And he moves the ball out to Wiles. Chris Wiles finds his way over the line for his second try of the night. Does the skipper on the day. Getting up a little slow from the heat there, but they extend their lead just before half to Sarries.
Fantastic first phase move there. Hitting Nick Tompkins up, Tom Griffiths up with Nick Tompkins as a big threat on his outside, but he was a decoy runner. Went out the back to Max Malins, and you look where Mike Ellery came from. He came from this blindside wing on the right-hand side and worked his way all the way around to then get to there. And it's something that he's been working with Chris Ashton for. One of the best wingers in the world who's just left us now. That was something that he was known for, coming off his wing and doing a lot of hard work. Again, brilliant effort from Mike Ellery and a great finish from Chris Wiles again.
Yeah, it looks like the Islanders are really struggling those wide channels at the moment. Once the Saracens get it out there, there's a number of runners coming off either shoulder, and it's dangerous days.
This is the thing. I think we just Saracens need to make sure that they just keep going through the phases. Possession is key here, so we've got to make sure that we keep hold of the ball. I think the boys were frustrated in that first half, but looking at them now, they're really getting into the flow of things. So.
And here with the conversion kick, which does not hit its target.
They're not making it easy for Ben Spencer. They're scoring in the corner every single time. He's not going to be happy with the statistics at the end of the night.
Yeah. Fortunately, it doesn't go on to his official record. It's just part of the.
Hopefully not.
Atlantic
Anyway,
Cup. But you guys can remind him, I'm sure.
I'll definitely be reminding him of that tonight.
As it looks like we're not quite done with this half. Referee Lacey has extra time, as we've been using running time on our clocks. And Talapusi and the Islanders one more time here. Try to get something done before the end of this half. 29-0 Saracens here at National Sports Center in Bermuda. Dominic Day brings the ball down. Well marshaled and hit by one of the Islanders. That was a Mongoloa.
Saracens here just looking to set up a ruck to make sure that we kick off a solid platform. Ben Spencer will use his left foot here. Jack Ney coming on the blind side, and again Mike Ellery going on a big hard chase.
It's almost like you know what they're going to do.
Oh, yeah, well, funnily enough, I've been playing for a little while.
As the high ball goes up and Ellery comes down with it and slips back there, but the Islanders have come away with it through Tauma Falau. The ball moves out. Saracens turn it over one more time there, and it was Griffiths took the ball in.
Very strong runner, Tom Griffiths. Look at this.
Finds a bit of space, and just one of the Islanders can just crawl underneath him to stop him.
Got a lot of numbers on this right-hand side if we can use them.
And, not quite there. As Taumio Falau. Taumoi Falau, excuse me.
I think Vincent Cox asking John Lacey whether we can finish the half there. Look, they're both laughing. I think Vinny's a little bit tired, so he doesn't want another scrum. He doesn't want another big effort.
As we're going to set down one more scrum, I was sure this half was over.
Bind, free, set, steady.
Get some sounds of the game in there. Ball goes out.
Griffiths.
He's got that ball tucked. He's looking for something there as he slipped the ball away there.
Wow.
And that was Nick Tompkins taking the ball in, and Nick Tompkins just outside the line. Ball slips out of his hands, and we have a advantage here to the Islanders. A little good scramble defense from one of the Islanders there.
Brilliant
they were able to
defense.
pick that ball away. And didn't give up on that chase as Ferris looks at his options and just goes quick there. Maybe not the smartest thing he's going to do all day.
No, I don't think they need to be playing around with the ball too much
Yeah.
here. Look, that's a try. Is it a try?
We'll see what Lacey says, but I do not think so. Nice scrum here.
Saying take them back into their own try line, which means a scrum on the 5-metre line, which is a good result for Sarries, but I think they would have preferred it if Nick Tompkins could have just put the ball down.
Yeah, been a bit better, as we're going to have another scrum here.
Another brilliant carry, though, from Tom Griffiths. Really looks to be putting the USA Islanders backline under a lot of pressure, and I think they're constantly worried about him. And the clever thing now will be to use him as a decoy runner and maybe go out the back behind. Because it clearly takes 2 or 3 guys to put the big man down. So
he's quite a runner.
Exactly.
As we get set for another scrum here, I thought a couple scrums ago was going to be the last of the half, but referee Lacey seems to want to stay.
He's obviously enjoying himself out there.
He loves the Bermuda fields.
He's got a lovely tan on him. He must have been here for 3 or 4 weeks, I think.
Slip of the ball there, and we have an advantage here for the USA Islanders this time. And now we whistle. We have a knock on. Is that?
No, I think it's
we
a half.
whistled for the end of the
Vincent
half
Koch,
here.
look, he's running off. That's the fastest he's run all day.
He just wants to get inside
Desperate
somewhere
to
cool.
get a cold towel.
All right, here we are. This is John Broker with Jamie George. We are at the National Sports Center in Hamilton, Bermuda. And we are going to go down to some interviews in just a minute. But we're wrapping up this first half. Saracens 29, USA Islanders 0. What do you think's been the big difference here, Jamie?
I think, Saracens have just probably been a little bit more clinical. They put the Islanders under a lot of pressure with their defence. I think you look at the line speed, the physicality of that defence. It's very difficult for us, for the Islanders to be attacking. So,
all right. So, if you were the Islanders coming out in the second half, obviously the heat is getting to them and this stuff. How would you change that game plan that they look like they're going to?
I think they just need to get out of their half a little bit quicker, a little bit easier. I think they need to take the easy option rather than throwing the ball around. They're doing some pretty good things and they look dangerous when they get into Saracens' half. It's just making sure that they spend as much time there as they can and utilise the runners that they've got, because they've got some big threats there. Both wingers have come off their wings a bit and played well, and the centres look strong. So hopefully they can see a little bit more ball. They need to maybe fix a few things at the line. I'll take a few more simple options. They did so. They went to the front a couple of times and made life a little bit easier for themselves. So maybe they should do that a little bit more and then go into getting into some set phases. But I think we'll be seeing a few changes here for Saracens. That was the plan all along. I think a lot of the players are going to be doing just 40 minutes. So I can see Richard Barrington there coming on for Hayden Thompson Stringer. Chris Tolofua, who's signing for us, a hooker. French international, he's a great player, and a few big guys.
All right, great. Now we are going to go down to the field to John Layfield for an on-field interview.
I want to thank you all for joining us here in lovely Bermuda. We got obviously the best rugby club in the world.
You enjoying it? I think you got a future.
Saracens is playing all to benefit Beyond Rugby, which is a program that is started up here in Bermuda, deals with at-risk kids, gang-type kids, that we want to keep them out of gangs, keep them in school. This is 100% a fundraiser. So we want to thank you for joining us. We want to thank WWE and NEP, Marty Pingras, Marty Miller, and Mike Mansuri, the whole crew for coming over to making all this possible. It's the biggest pro rugby game ever in Bermuda Rugby's history. Thank you to Jamie George for filling in with the great Lions players. Thank you very much. Enjoy the second half.
All right, we're back up here. And Jamie, while we have a little bit of time, first I want to get a look at Paula Fuka. I called one of his national championship games many years ago. How would you like to pack down against that big fella?
Yeah, they've got some big boys, haven't they? No wonder their scrum's going so well. It's they some big boys, some interesting haircuts as well out there.
Yeah, Paula is a player for Hayward in the States, obviously of Polynesian descent, and was a good player. But let's talk about your rugby history a little bit. How'd you get started and how'd you come up in the game?
I started off just at a local rugby club, Hartford Rugby Club back home, and sort of started playing there from about 6 years old. Then went to a good rugby school in Haileybury College, the same school as Chris Wiles actually, and Nick Ezekwe. We've got a few guys who've come out of that school. And, started playing from there. I joined the Saracens Academy when I was about 14. signed my first professional contract the year I left school at 18. So,
really,
you know, I feel very privileged. I grew up watching Saracens as a kid, so you know, it's amazing for me to be a fan that's now playing for the club, and you know, the club means so much to me. So that's probably why I try and put everything out there for the club.
Right. And it seems like the academy is bringing through local boys in there. Is that the whole point? Is to
This
try
is
to get
the whole
homegrown
point.
talent?
You know, that's the main thing. You know, you look at the likes of Alex Good, Owen Farrell, Mara Itoje. You know, we had 4 academy players on this most recent Lions tour, and you know that's pretty much unheard of most of the time. You know, and you know, it's credit to Andy Edwards, Mike Heinart, the guys back home who are doing a fantastic job with the academy, and you know, the caliber of players that we're bringing through is brilliant, but then at the same time they're breeding them in the right way, making sure that they got the right mindset, and you know, remaining humble throughout all the successes. And you know, we've got a lot more players to come, and it's a little bit worrying actually. You've got to make sure that you stay on your toes, otherwise.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of depth in a number of positions there. And we see a great young fly half out here. We see a number of
you know, and this is the good thing, is that you can bring through the guys from the academy, like Max Malin's there, an absolute star for the England under-20s this year, and then you know, he's playing underneath 2 England internationals in Owen Farrell and Alex Lozowski, and Owen potentially the best fly half in the world at the minute, and that's what it's all about. It's making sure that us as senior players now, it's a bit worrying to call myself a senior player at 26 years old, but I'll take it. You know, us as senior players is trying to groom those guys and make sure that they can become the best players they can be, because ultimately that will be what makes the club successful. And yeah, it's great to see these guys coming out here. This is a young team that we've got out here, and it's a great opportunity for them.
All right, this is John Broker with Jamie George. We're going to take a quick break here and be back with second half action of this Atlantic Rugby Cup.
We got to go, guys. Hey, we're joined with Coach Alex Sanderson. Coach, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it very much. Best pro rugby club in the world. First game, you like what you see so far?
Yeah, thus far really good. You know, we've put in some hard work over the pre-season, 5 or 6 weeks of really intense training, but you never really know how far the lads have come through that period until you put it out on the field. Our intensity levels, our physicality against what is a really big physical side have been really good, and we're trying to sustain those levels now for this half.
2 years ago, you're double champions. Last year, European champions. What are your expectations this year?
Well, we'd like to do it all over again. Obviously, it's more difficult to maintain your motivation levels to stay hungry and humble on the back of 2 back-to-back European Cup winning seasons. But we've got a good group of people here who have been in professional rugby for a long time. They're good athletes. I think we know what it takes to do it again.
Coach, congratulations and good luck for the season. Cheers, mate. Thanks, brother. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Sean. Great interview, and thanks, Alex. We're back here as we see one of the Islanders knocking on. We have an advantage here to Saracens as we start the second half of this Atlantic Cup. This is John Broker with Jamie George, British and Irish Lion, England's player, and also a Saracens member. As quick ball handling goes on there, and the Saracens early in this half cross the 22, and they look to be picking up the pace right now, which should be worrying for the USA Islanders as the ball comes around there to Talafua.
Brilliant, the first touch for Talafua, big bounce, big line break there. You know, we can put on a few changes. You can see Henry Taylor's come on at scrum half for Ben Spencer. Chris Talafua on there, Richard Barrington at loose head. Got a few new guys here. Nathan Earl has come on. I'm not too sure. Is he on the wing? He's on the wing for Mike Ellery.
Really?
Now this guy can run. I'm telling you, the guy who's come on the right wing, probably the quickest player in our squad, and he's very, very, very impressive. So
now Nathan Earl he got picked up for like the wider squad for England this year.
Yes, he did. He went on the tour to Argentina and he played a game against the Barbarians, which wasn't a capped game, but it was a game nonetheless at Twickenham. So he's right on the radar for Eddie Jones.
So we'll be keeping an eye out for Earl as the ball moves across. That was Whiteley moving the ball. And the ball spins around again, and Wild, the captain.
Move.
Yeah, beautiful misdirection there, and up he comes as Gerson Blaze looked to get in there and take that ball, but wasn't happening. And straight in the second half, the Islanders under a lot of pressure as a look for the big forwards there. Looks like Whiteley again.
That's actually Henry Taylor.
Oh, sorry, Henry Taylor.
It's okay. And again, another. Oh, that's a try.
Oh, and try award there in that mass of bodies, but. Boy, what an onslaught by the Saracens to start off the second half.
It really is an impressive start. Good line out, great first phase move, and Joe Shaw, the attack coach, is going to be happy with the way that we're attacking in the minute. Him and Kevin Sorrell, the attack coach, is going to be very happy. Brilliant use of the decoy runners there again. You saw that we used Chris Wild. We're using the blindside wingers to come into the play for the first phase a lot, and it's putting the Islanders under a lot of pressure.
And Baha Esikia, a USA international, the coach of the Islanders, will be worried after seeing that.
Yeah.
But it's going to be Max Mallons to kick this one.
You can see a real up of tempo with Henry Taylor come on the field at scrum half. He's a fantastic talent there at number 23, and a little bit different to the other scrum halves that we have. Very quick, very sharp, and likes to play a high tempo game. So hopefully we can see a little bit more of this. Hopefully he doesn't get too tired and too worried about the heat. It's a little bit. It's quieting down a little bit, calmed down a little bit. It's a little bit cooler. So, I'm sure the boys coming on in the second half will rip in.
Yeah, beautiful night here in Hamilton, Bermuda. I'm sure most nights here in Hamilton, Bermuda are pretty nice.
I'm sure it's all right.
As Talapusi again puts the ball up, he's getting a lot of work on his kickoffs. The ball slips back there. Yeah. Talafua again.
Talafua looking really sharp in this early stages of the second half. Again, Henry Taylor's going to put up a high kick here for Nathan Earl to chase.
Taylor sends Earl underneath it. Let's see what happens here. Fielded there. It looks like Tui Pelotu, the hooker, back. And Devereaux Ferris moves it quickly. And then is Olivier Khalifi, the captain in Seattle Saracen. As the ball moves again to Talapusi, and I think they realize that kicking is going to be a big option for him. Well, that one goes straight into touch, and we're going to have a line out for Saracens all the way back.
Frustrating there, they're just under pressure the whole time, and the clever thing the Saracens are doing here is making sure that they keep turning the big Islander forwards with those attacking kicks, and making sure that's the way they get out of their half, and that's big for them. And trust me, as a big forward myself, running backwards is always tough, and then you've got to get back behind the ball. So. Try and continue to do that.
Quick ball to the tail there. Another slick play around, and it's again Griffiths that comes up with it. And the ball is to Callum Clark. Callum Clark slips out of the tackle and takes a couple of Islanders with him. About 30 meters out from the line now as quick ball hands come through. Oh, just can't hang on to it there. And Gerson Blaze comes to knock in a touch, but we'll see what the referee has to say here. It's like a line out.
I'm pretty sure the Islanders will be pretty. Oh, the line out to Saracens is an interesting one. Must have been touched on the pass. Again, another good attacking opportunity here for Sarries. They're going to go here with what looks like a 7-man line out. Hopefully go off the top, and we'll get to see another brilliant first phase move from the backs, because it seems to be working.
Yeah, just off camera we can see a good lineup in the backs there as the ball goes up to Day. Day can't quite handle the humid ball, but knocked down the other way. So we're going to have a scrum here to the Islanders. Maybe a bit of luck there for them that there's not an attacking run coming at them.
Yeah, I'm sure they're happy about that. And the big thing here for the Islanders now is to get some control in the game. It's not been a great first 5.5 minutes for them, so they've got to make sure that they play a bit of rugby in the Saracens half. They do that by making sure that they kick well, kick on their terms. I think the issue is that it's all on Saracens' terms at the minute. They need to make sure they put a little bit of control on it, and that puts pressure on 9 and 10 for the Islanders.
And here we have a little bit more instability in the scrum than we had in the first half. We got some new boys in the front row for Saracens. They may be looking to send the coaches a message that they know what they're doing.
Yeah, a few changes there. Richard Barrington and Chris Tolofua are probably two of the best scrummagers we have, so it doesn't get any easier for the USA Islanders up there at the front.
Yeah, there's not a lot of front row subs in this Islanders team. Ferris looking out to his back line to see what's happening. A very highly rated player in the States, playing at Life West. And not as steady that time, but Ferris able to move it away. And the ball to Talapusi, who moves it out wide. And rushing defense there, but a nice little slip pass as the Islanders start to go forward, and it looks like Afiaki, the fullback, tried to chip it over and couldn't quite get there. We're going to have on halfway.
See, that's positive news there.
Yeah.
Great first phase move again.
Yep.
Good offload. They're going to want to be doing that a lot more.
I think the Islanders coaches would have sent in the message to put the ball to boot a little more and try to turn around the Saracens as well. That rush defense is causing them problems.
You don't want to play too much rugby against the defense like that.
Quick ball up the top for Ferris. Ferris moves it around to Talapusi one more time, and coming in through the middle there and hit hard is Sonny Taylor. But penalty.
For not rolling away, Chris
Not rolling
Tolofua.
away.
A little bit harsh maybe, but that's fair enough. It looks Callum Clark doing well to get over the ball there and put him under pressure.
Contact area always tough to referee these days as Talapusi moves it down.
Brilliant kick.
Yeah, and the Islanders will have a nice attacking line out right around the 22-meter line.
See Dom Morris coming on here. I'm not too sure who he's coming on for at the minute. It's Matt Gallagher, is it?
There's a few blank jerseys out there, so I'm going to have to rely on you for who they are.
That's Dom Morris. He's coming on for Tom Griffiths.
All right.
Tom Griffiths can be very happy with his evening this evening. He's had a fantastic game. I'm sure his stats look equally as good. Frustrating there for the Islanders. They lose the line out again.
Yep. And here comes
another big
Taylor.
kick from Henry Taylor, I'm sure, with Nathan Earl to
Like you
chase.
said, he's looking to get Nathan Earl underneath this ball. But penalty against the Islanders. Some sort of infraction in that pile.
Just like I said, it doesn't get any easier for the USA Islanders. We're bringing on Skulkberger. I think he's got 70 or 80 caps for South Africa, one of the greatest players to play the game of all time. So
he's been phenomenal. It should be a pleasure to watch him here,
yeah,
and it'll be a pleasure to play against him too if you're the Islanders.
One of the nicest guys off the field, but one of the fiercest on it. We're also bringing on Kieran Longbottom, who's come back. Come back to the club after a year out. And Alex Lazowski and Jackson Ray, both big talents for us.
And there's a ball down to Mallins. Mallins steps through a couple. He's finding his way into that defense there. Ball out to Saris, moving it wide. Quick hands there, and that's Gallagher. Quickly chips it through, and Ken Wiles come up with it again, and Chris Wiles finds his way through, pops it up, and that try number 3.
That's try number 3.
Try number 3 for
Chris Wiles. He'll be buying the beers tonight, hopefully.
I'd say so.
It'll be about the first time, I'd say.
Yeah, playing
Great
against
kick.
a few of his old teammates there, but great little chip and chase.
Great kick there from Matt Gallagher. He saw that there was no one in behind, and it's always a risky one that you kick the ball away in the 22, but when you got the talent of Matt Gallagher, he did that's a brilliant chip, and we scored a lot of tries from that last season, so it's great.
And he was the Academy Player of the Year last year, the 20-year-old?
Yeah, he's very talented.
Yeah.
As we see here, Vincent Koch very happy with his day's work, happy to be taken off. Callum Clark doing an excellent job on debut, and Dom Day the same.
Yeah, there you see the boys coming off. Will they want some cold water?
I think they'll be having some cold water, maybe even a cold beer, who knows?
Maybe after. So as Mallins gets set to kick again, and 41-0.
So we're bringing on Mark Flanagan also in the second row.
Irish boy, yeah?
Irish boy, was in Leinster Academy, moved to France for a little bit, but now he's been with Saracens for 2 years. This is his second season. Jack Ney coming off the field, another Academy youngster.
Mallins lines up the kick from the side and slots that one. And it goes 43-0. Saracens over the USA Islanders here in this Atlantic Rugby Cup. Just 10 minutes gone in the second half. As the
just
Islanders are going to get something done.
Really hope here the USA Islanders make sure that they rally together and don't be too disheartened by the scoreline. They need to make sure that they just keep playing the game. They've had some impressive stuff. They just need to string a few things together now. Yeah,
like you said, they're a select side, very good players, but not a lot of people in the world can say they played against the Saracens.
This is it.
Not a lot of people can say that, Skulk Brits, you said, is coming on the field. Not a lot of people can say they played against Skulk Burger, sorry. And, what a fantastic opportunity for these guys.
Brilliant catch there from Nick Ezekwe off the kickoff, and it enabled us to set up this maul. Again, something that's been punishing the Islanders throughout the whole 80 minutes so far. So, and break off the side there from Skulk Burger. The old boy looks sharp.
Yeah, wasted no time to get involved there. And there the ball is coming up to the big boy Barrington. Barrington loses it. And the Islanders are going to look to do something with it here. Not happening with the greasy ball. Slips out of Talapusi's hands. And a shot of Chris Wiles there.
Just outside the 22.
Chris Wiles, born in Stamford, Connecticut, actually.
Yeah, Captain America in the World Cup a couple of seasons ago, and such a brilliant asset for Saracens. He had a tough start to his rugby career. He sort of hopped around, was at Leicester and Northampton. Didn't really find his feet, and then went away with USA Sevens for a long time. And he himself will say that USA Rugby has really helped him come through and find his feet at Saracens, and he's going to go down as a Saracens legend now.
Little known fact, I picked him up at the airport for his first camp with the USA.
Really?
Yeah, I was working with USA Rugby at the time and picked him up, and we all got him out, and coach just said, we think this boy has something. And certainly it's turned into a great career from there. He'd been in Northampton
got more than
Academy.
Something.
Yeah, and just been a great servant to USA Rugby. Widely loved in the country, always has time to help people out, do some interviews, do some fundraising. He's helping to pick the current national coach. John Mitchell left for the Eagles, so Chris is on the panel looking at the new coaching staff. Yeah, so he's
a brilliant guy. He's very switched on. That's a very switched on guy. But again, another one of those like Skulk Burger. Very nice guy off the field, but you don't want to come across him on the field. You can see here he scored a hat-trick already this evening.
Yeah, and he's got time to go.
Exactly, that's worrying.
All right, and here is another scrum here. Looking to go solid again, but just outside their 22.
Yeah, the Islanders are struggling here at the minute with Barrington and Tolofua doing a fantastic job, and Kieran Longbottom there coming on at tight head.
A good shot at Berger.
Yeah, that's going to be a turnover,
squeezes
I think.
on that one, yeah. Saracens draws a penalty on that scrum. Yeah, well done.
I can see Henry Taylor wants to go quick. He's going quick.
Yeah, he's looking for runners.
Trying to up the tempo, just like I said before, but that's frustrating. We don't need to be doing that. We're turning the ball over, and we've got a good phase of possession.
Yeah,
now here's Nathan Earl.
Here's Earl.
Oh,
Talapusi does good to get a hold of him.
Islanders harassing the Saracens. And Saracens have lost 10, 15 yards. But they regroup.
Ball there stuck in the center of the field. As off we go. A nice defense there. Knock on by one of the Islanders, who have an advantage here, 2 Saracens. As Berger moves it across. And here's
look
Earl.
how quick this guy is.
He takes one step. He's got the sideline with him. He's quick and strong. That is some player right there. Nathan Earl, certainly a name to watch.
Islanders tackling hard.
The Islanders are doing a good job at disrupting Saracens at the base of the ruck. Henry Taylor is finding it difficult to get the ball out, and they're being very physical in that area. Good line speed there, very physical hits.
Yep.
They're looking to really rally together and get something out of this game now. Another swerving wrong from Nick Tompkins, very strong runner. Henry Taylor sees a bit of space in behind, and you're not going to catch Nathan Earl here.
He definitely saw some space there. Oh, what a bounce, and Earl comes up with it, and Earl scores a try in the corner. Well worked.
Yeah, brilliant vision from Henry Taylor there. He saw space in the back right corner there, and Nathan Earl would have fed that information into him, told him that the space was there, told him to kick it in. Brilliant, well worked, and great vision from both of them.
All right, back in the booth here is John Layfield. John, we've got late games going on. Saracens starting to run away with it here, but a great event nonetheless. These Saracens Islanders players must be proud.
Yeah, they got to be proud. It's kind of what you expect. You don't start up a professional football team in the States and play the New England Patriots right off the bat. That's what the USA Islanders did. I mean, you don't just kind of dip your toe in the water. You're jumping in the deep end with the Sharks, and they're playing a game. They're playing tough, but they're playing the best team in the world, and that's kind of what you expect.
So why don't you talk a minute about how this came together and how this is benefiting Beyond Rugby?
Well, we're trying to do our best to be self-sustaining here in Bermuda because we have great sponsors, been with us since the very beginning. But we had one sponsor by another this year because of mergers and acquisitions in the reinsurance market. And they're not going to double their sponsorship, so we've got to find a way to be self-sustaining. This is one of the ways we do it. This will fund us for about almost the next 2 years. This one game alone.
All right, great. So this is certainly an event. I'm sure you're going to want to do more like this in the future.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope Jamie and the boys have had a good time. They've been cliff diving. They've been jumping off the diving boards. Went a little viral on today's show, so they look like they're having fun.
Yeah,
we're having a great time.
I'm not sure if they like the boys out there playing like the heat that much. But
yeah. That's a good start of the season. They're going to be playing through the British winter pretty soon. You'll be longing for this.
Yeah, we'll be longing for Bermuda when we're playing Gloucester away at Kingsholm in January. It's not exactly a pretty place to play.
And Saracens outside of their 22, looking to move it quickly, and a quick show and go with the ball there. And
Kozowski making a break here. Brilliant pass to Tom Whiteley, who's come on a scrum half by trade. I think he might have come on the left wing.
Tom Whiteley seems to be out on the wing there.
He's a very good runner of the ball. Again, very quick, very nippy, a good sevens player.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how he goes on the wing.
And a big second row in the middle of the field there as it comes across to Barrington, the prop now.
Kozowski making a real impact on this game, trying to put a crossfield kick in there to Skulkberger. Didn't quite make it.
Jamie, I talked to Coach Alex Sanderson at halftime, as you saw, and he was pretty happy with at least with what was going on. Are you happy with what you've seen?
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the physicality. Like Alex said, very physical team here, and we're not too worried about the scoreline. What we want to see is a lot of hard work, and the boys are working seriously hard and being very physical.
And another strong run by the Saracens as they're about 30 meters out right now. The ball again, quick hands there, nice little chip through, and there seems to be some wide open space out there. As it's Tico Isuva that has to go in and get it. Tico Isuva finds a way to slip the ball away, but well marshaled his teammate. I believe that's Gerson Blaze there as a ball. Oh no, here's Gerson Blaze, excuse me. The ball moves out to the wing. And the Islanders looking to barrel up the sideline, but nothing happening as he's handling the touch.
You can tell they're tired. They're a new team that's just been put together, but they're still playing tough. You got to give them a lot of credit as far as what they have as far as character playing.
Been hugely impressed with how tough they've been, how physical they've been, especially through Channel 1 in their defense, especially here. Look, very physical.
Yep, and they're coming in tight here, looking to keep them inside as a rushing defense goes there. And a quick dummy out there. And try awarded, no problem, as Saracens continue to extend their lead. That Islanders' defense just wasn't there around the ruck.
No, and that's the sort of thing that Henry Taylor's going to bring you, a scrum half, a very high-tempo game, like I said before. And when he gets to the ball that quickly, it's very difficult for the Islanders' defenders to fold and set the ruck like they should have done there. The guard defender, the person closest to the ruck, wasn't quite set, and you don't give the likes of Henry Taylor space like that. He's going to take it every day.
And now we're into our water break here, so we're going to have a little bit of a timeout. We'll have some more time to talk to John Layfield about Beyond Rugby and talk to who's the integral people to getting this event together.
Gareth Noakes is the man. He's the one that has the contacts with Saracens. Harlequins also been here a couple years, but Saracens has been a huge supporter of ours with their kids program, with the youth. They're not just probably the best pro rugby team in the world, they're also one of the best organizations in the world as far as giving back to the community. And the relationship with Gareth Noakes is what has made all this possible. We have so many volunteers. It's a true island-wide initiative here in Bermuda for this. It's all benefit kids, and when people realize that is the motive behind everything, people tend to want to support it, and support has been awesome.
That's something that us at Saracens can really relate to as well. We have a Saracens Foundation there at the club, and just like you are here with the Beyond Rugby program, we care about people. It's not just about the rugby; it's about making people better as a whole. And that's honestly what I can say that we're focusing on at Saracens. We don't just focus on the rugby. We focus on the people, and the rugby comes off the back of it. It's been working really well so far. You can see Noakesy there on the screen looking good. Nice little side profile for him.
Third. Noakesy said he wanted a lower third. He doesn't know he has it. He doesn't even know he's on camera right now, but he wanted a lower third, and Josh in our booth built him one. Gareth will be very happy now.
He's very happy with that little cameo.
Yeah.
That's good. So, people talk about the Saracens. They do talk about the culture there and how important it is to the team. just tell us a little about
It's everything, mate. It really is. It's we have 4 key pillars: honesty, hard work, humility, and discipline. And we live those values day by day, on the field and off the field. It's something that we really put a huge emphasis on, and it starts at the top and it works all the way down to the bottom to the academy players coming through. And there's no hierarchy whatsoever. You go in and you go into at lunchtime at Saracens, old Albanians training ground. You can see an academy player having lunch with Skulk Burger and the likes of that, and that sort of sums up what the club is about. It's about the people, it's about the connections that we have, and the stronger that we are off the field, the more that we care about each other, the more that we're going to put out on the field for each other.
Line out, buddy, right there, Jamie. Maro Itoje.
There's Big Maro. Yeah, he's it's not quite Gareth Noakes.
Looks a bit different.
He's looking very relaxed there. He's probably worrying about the running session that we have tomorrow. So there he is.
There we are. Another British and Irish Lion here, played with Jamie George. And
was undefeated for about a year. The team he played with, Six Nations, everything. And Maro looked like he was never going to lose a rugby game.
No.
Both showed really well.
You got a pretty good target there for your lineouts.
Yeah, he's not too bad.
Maro Itoje there. I was over watching you guys a couple years ago before Maro, people knew his name, and he was catching everything within 20 yards of it. It looked like it was. And I said, you've got to see this athlete, Maro Itoje. Yeah. And sure enough, he becomes one of the best players in the world.
He really is one of the best players in the world at the minute, and he really showed that in New Zealand. He thrived in that high-profile environment.
He seems to enjoy it too. He seems to be out there loving the game.
He loves it. He's very passionate about the game. He's very passionate about the people that he plays the game for and with.
Back to the game here as Ferris moves it out for the Islanders. Islanders just after this water break, sliding the ball on there. Holding a touch again. We will have another line out here for Saracens, just about halfway.
It's frustrating for the Islanders there. They get a good attacking phase and then they unfortunately run into touch or knock the ball on, and that's been a common theme throughout the game. And if they could have just held that, made sure that they didn't go into touch, and then they've got another attacking opportunity off the back of it. Instead, Saracens here on the halfway line with a line out.
Jamie, how do you guys set expectations? 2 years ago, you're the double champions. The last 2 years, you've been European champion. How do you set expectations at the beginning of the year?
We actually don't look too far ahead. I think it's important. I think it's a big reason why we've been successful. Is yes, we're all very competitive people, and we want to keep winning. And the main thing that we want to do is win the double again and again. But the main focus for us is making sure that we just get it better day in, day out. And there's a huge focus for us for that. And we challenge each other in training, but we also look after each other, and that's a big theme for us there at Saracens. Everyone is fully aware that our expectations for this season is to do the double.
Right. Yep. It's fun. It was interesting talking to Alex Sanderson earlier in the week when you guys first arrived. He said part of what we're doing here is establishing culture. Yeah. It's not just conditioning it, it's not just training it, but it's culture for the young guys.
Yeah, I spoke about it earlier. We're putting in a lot of hard work on the field, but again, coming away to an amazing place in Bermuda here, we're creating such amazing memories off the field with each other, and we're having an opportunity to go for coffees, go out for meals together, and just get to know each other better. And it all makes such a difference when we then go onto the field, knowing the people that you're playing with and caring about.
Let's talk about, first, if you're going to do the double, you have the premiership. What do you know about how the other teams have developed in the off-season?
Well, yeah, there's been some huge signings. A lot of teams have signed very well, but I'd say that we've also signed pretty well. You never really know too much about other teams until the beginning of the season, the first couple of games. So, it'll be interesting to see how we go there. Our first game is against the Northampton Saints, and that's going to be a very tough test for us first up. But the boys are looking sharp here, so hopefully, we're laying down good foundations, and we just got to keep working there.
What is your timeline for coming back into physical contact?
This is our first week in pre-season, so it's not a bad first week. And then, we're into pre-season from there, but I don't think that we're going to be involved in the first couple of games. I think there's a timeline where we're not allowed to play, so I doubt that you'll see many of the Lions players in the first game, maybe hopefully be back for the second, but we're just back into general conditioning at the minute, and then start upping the physicality over the next few weeks.
All right, great.
What did you do after the Lions tour?
We had a few weeks off.
Mark told me he went to Vegas and took him a couple days to recover. But
yeah, I'm sure.
Did you have your little vacation? You had a long season, then a long Lions tour.
Yeah, I didn't quite go to Vegas. I went to the south of France with my girlfriend, and a very different trip to Maro and Mako. And Mako's come back a different man from Vegas. He's very quiet.
Really?
He's very loud before, but he's obviously had a great time.
Yeah,
I haven't quite dragged it out of him yet, but I'm going to find out for sure.
Yeah. we get to go to Vegas every year for the Vegas 7th, and it's just a phenomenal event.
That's a tough gig, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's terrible. I haven't got to broadcast out there yet.
How do I quite get that invite?
Yeah.
I spent a month there one weekend.
Yeah. That's kind of how it goes. Yeah, John, you have plenty of experience with Vegas from the WWE.
Absolutely, one of the great markets for us.
Yeah.
Terrific market. Just got the new pro football franchise. You know,
Oh,
the
right.
Raiders that moved down to Vegas. Would be interesting to see.
Yeah, it should be. It's a
They've
good
kind of kept
sports
the
town.
pro football franchise out of there because of gambling. You know, even though they have betting lines all over the
Yeah.
country, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yep.
But it's great to see them. You hate to see a good franchise like that leave Oakland, but you're happy for Las Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas going strength to strength. As we look at a little water break here.
Good breakaway try there from Alex Azowski. A very talented player. He joined us from Wasps last season, and within 8 weeks of being at the club, he was then he had gone from being third choice at Wasps, which was the reason he left, starting for Saracens and being called into the England squad. He made his first cap this summer, so a real talent there. He's only 22, 23 years of age.
Yeah, phenomenal future ahead of him, like a lot of these boys. Like you said, you're the veteran 26-year-old.
I know, it's tough. I'm suddenly the senior player. I've only got a few years left. All these guys are making me look bad.
As Saracens take the ball into contact at their own 40 again.
I was reading some stuff on Owen Farrell today. You know, his father was one of the youngest to win the Challenge Cup at 17 years, 11 months. Owen was the youngest to play professional at 17 years, 11 days. You know, he should have been in junior in high school.
That's amazing.
He's an impressive character, Owen, and he's utilised all his talents. And you know, he's now arguably the best fly half in the world. I think he showed that this summer in New Zealand. And scarily, there's another Farrell to come. And
really?
Owen's got a younger brother who's 6. And
He should be pro in a year now.
well, this is it. Yeah, exactly.
He's got to beat the 17.
That's right.
He's got to get in there a little
So
earlier.
there's no pressure on Gabe Farrell.
Right, no pressure at all.
The Islanders take down a ball here from the lineout and looking to get something out of this in the last 15 minutes. These Islanders have certainly been game for it. Little tip pass slips away there in the heat. And referee Lacey whistles it up, and we're going to have another scrum here for Saracens. And I'd say they're going to try to attack from deep again.
Yeah, I'd say so. You know, we're getting a little bit of change out of that. Generally, I think, you know, if Alex Azowski sees a little bit of space in either of the corners, he might put a kick in. But with the likes of Nick Tompkins and Matt Gallagher there in the centres, why not give them the ball? You know, they're causing some havoc out there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting what we do here.
You know, speaking of Owen Farrell, he was a big difference in the Lions tour. Were you surprised? Barrett played phenomenally, but he missed some kicks that he probably should have made. Were you surprised when you're sitting there watching some of those kicks, especially in the second game, that he missed?
I was relieved more than anything. But no, yeah, I was surprised. It was, you know, he doesn't miss too many. But that's something that you know, was frustrating for them, but actually gave us a lot of energy. You know, and you know, we ended up getting a lot out of it. But at the same time, Bowden Barrett, again, one of the best players in the world, best rugby players, most talented.
What a family.
Exactly, yeah.
Had a try, had a tip back in for run on the try line for another try to assist.
Yeah.
And he played phenomenal. Just had some problems kicking at times.
Another talented family. They've got 3 brothers playing for the All Blacks at one time. So
Jordy's just been hurt, so he's out for a bit. But sometime next year, all 3 will be on the field for the All Blacks.
That's scary.
Pretty impressive there. As ball gets moved around, another wrap around. Saracen comes in on the off wing. Have to recover there. It's Berger. Berger moves it on. And goes in for his trademark steal, but the Islanders have held on to that one until Barrington comes in and pushes it back.
Oh, here we go.
Quickly away to the end there. And there's Earl. As you said, Nathan Earl, the speedster, takes it, heading for the center. Finds it well enough. And Nathan Earl, the youngster, scores another good try here.
Another good try off turnover ball, like you said. Good work from Barrington there to dive on the loose ball. And again, good work from Henry Taylor, noting the space on the blind side and giving Nick Tompkins the ball, who made a good decision. Like I said before, this Nathan Earl kid can really play, and very talented guy. So I mean, it's a big year for him ahead now.
Yeah, that size and speed is just pretty phenomenal on him. So he will be looking to make a big impact. Has his background been straight rugby? You come out of the academy, or what's
he
his?
came out of the academy. He joined the. We actually have a relationship with the school, Oakland's College, where kids can go at 16 and do a college course, but then at the same time learn rugby. It's a rugby program. So he came out of that. Him and Nick Tompkins and Jackson Ray there. So yeah, he's one of those that they highlighted early and didn't let him slip to any other sport.
6'2", 221 with that sprinter speed. I wouldn't want to try to tackle him.
No, he's a serious threat. And,
you know, speaking of the burgers, Schockberger retired a couple years ago. He's now a farmer in Namibia.
Yeah.
How in the world does that happen? One of the toughest rugby players of all time, and he's a farmer. I followed him on Twitter. It's like really interesting to see this great, big, tough guy.
That's how he got tough.
That's
Learning
right.
There's actually a few boys that are from farming backgrounds. Actually, a lot of the South African guys that come over from farming backgrounds, and they're often the ones with the biggest grips and biggest hands that you'll ever see. You don't get anywhere near them. Mike Rhodes is from a farming background, and you don't want to mess with that guy.
And another box kick coming here, as high this time, not far for Earl to chase, and Tuisova gets up there to take it, but can't quite come down with it as Colton Cariaga, the Life University coach and very highly rated U.S. player, comes down with it. One of the non-Polynesian players got a Filipino island background. As the ball moves back down there again and going wide to no one in particular, as Alif Khalife has to run back on it, the captain, and Khalife does a great job of settling that ball down.
Just frustrating there. Again, they just need to go through the phases, and they've got good talented runners, big guys that can come onto the ball, and all they need to do is just hit those guys up. Don't get too frustrated that you've got a 0 on the scoreboard, and go through the phases and make sure that, you know, only play that, you know, throw those sort of passes when they're on, and make sure that that's when you do it. But
and I think they want to get something out of this, so they're very
another
keen.
big. That's a good maul set up there. the Islanders were very slow to get into that maul, and Henry Taylor decides to break out. It's not a normal policy, but I guess that we're going to try and play away from mauls a little bit more.
And there, a little show and go there. And Henry Taylor just slides through and under the post. That's at least 2 for him.
That's a hat trick, I think.
Is that a hat trick for him?
I'm losing count here. Yeah. He's been impressive, hasn't he?
Yeah, very good game for him. Yeah, this is just going from strength to strength.
Exactly, and he's got a big battle on his hand. Richard Wigglesworth's a very well-established first-choice scrum half, an England international, a brilliant player, and been a fantastic player for the club. But it's going to be a big fight for the second choice between himself and Ben Spencer. And then we've also got Tom Whiteley here on the wing, who's a real up-and-comer. So, you know, we're very blessed with some pretty good scrum halves for the club. And it's that strength in depth that we're really proud of.
I've heard Whiteley's quite a terrier when he gets in there. He's
a competitive little man. He works really hard, and he's improved so much over the years. You know, he came as more of a sevens player, but you know his basic skill set wasn't quite there when he first came. But you look at him now, and his passing and kicking is probably the best part of his game. But then he's also got this ability to run like you couldn't believe.
We may see it soon, as there's a bit of width out near him, but the ball in tight there as Saracens get this rolling maul going.
Scott Berger breaks off the side and feeds Kieran Longbottom on the inside, which is an interesting option. The Islanders do a good job to put pressure on that ruck because, interesting choice to quick tap, but I guess with the line-out not going so well, maybe not be a bad option, but I don't think Saracens have been 10.
And they had an advantage there, so it wasn't 10, so I think they got a little more. And I think these Islanders, you know, they want some points out of this. They want to come out of this 9 minutes from now with some points.
I'd say they should kick to the corner here. I know their line-out hasn't been the best, but they are doing it.
It's the right option.
They're the right option. It's a good platform. If they win the ball, can get the ball off the top, or they can maul, like Saracens have been doing in the first and second halves.
And just about 20 meters out is going to be the Islanders line-out, as Alif Khalife, the captain, gets up there and set the line. And the replacement hooker gets the ball in.
Nick Ezekwe again. Great work from Ezekwe.
Ezekwe has been phenomenal today. Been everywhere. As Berger takes it in tight.
We see another box kick here from Henry Taylor.
See what he's got.
That's
he's
a great
kick. Bring it down Rain with that. Taken down well.
Good chase there, though. And you see the way that how slow the Islanders are to get back behind the ball. They're just frustrated the whole time. And that's the benefit of kicking like that.
Yeah. 10 minutes to go in a game when you've been playing defense 95% of the time. These boys are a bit wiped. Right now they're playing for pride out there, the Islanders, but
just hope that they can go through some phases here. Just keep hold of the ball.
Not like that.
No, but they might manage to keep hold of it here.
Yeah. And that was Vaimua who took the ball in, the replacement hooker. As the ball gets moved back out to another replacement front rower who hauls the ball in. And again, keeping it tight here, trying to draw on some defense before they look to go to some of their speedsters, and now Ferris moves it out.
Just seems no way through this Saracens defense.
And again, slip ball there, and it's going to be advantage to the Saracens.
Picked up by Ben Earl.
And Ben Earl finds no problem picking that up and running in. Too easy.
That is too easy. And again, great defense. Putting the Islanders under pressure, and they just need to come up with a little bit more than just passing one-off runners. And it becomes too easy for the defense there. They need to, you look at the difference in the attacking shapes, the way the Saracens can use decoy runners. They can go out the back, they can play through. I think the Islanders is going to be a great learning curve for them there. And the Saracens are really putting on a show here. They've scored some fantastic tries. And here we can see Mark Flanagan getting taped up, maybe a little cut to the head. Tough kid though, so he'll carry on.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be all right. As we have 7 minutes left here in this Atlanta Cup, this is John Broker with Jamie George here on Flow Sports, FloRugby, bringing you this great match. As another angled kick goes up, and it's good.
What a kick.
78-0, Saracens above the Islanders with a few minutes yet left to go. I'm sure Tui Osborne and Sikia Alatini Salala, the coaches for the Islanders, and want them to really rally for the last few minutes and pick it up. And of course, your Saracens aren't going to want to end poorly.
Well, this is it. Alex Arneson, our defence coach, will be fuming if we don't leave with a 0 here. And we've got to show a lot of character and make sure that we carry on in the form that we've been in.
Not the best take from the kickoff right there, and it got knocked on inside there. A little frustrating from the Saracens. We're going to have a scrum here in a good attacking position outside the 22 for the USA Islanders.
The Islanders will just be looking to get the ball in and out of this scrum here. Nice quick strike from the hooker and get the ball to 8's feet and get the ball out, because they have been under pressure in the second half. What was a strength of theirs in the first half has really become a weakness. And but at the same time there, like you said, great attacking platform. They're bringing in the blindside winger there, and hopefully they can put together a nice first phase move. Good start to the scrum there, though.
Yep. Ferris gets
Brilliant
in.
snap from Saracens.
What a squeeze.
Straight
Ball
turnover.
just comes straight through.
Good fight there from Henry Taylor on the ground. Again,
Burger.
give the ball to Nathan Earl, see what he can do.
Nathan Earl puts it to his boot this time, and look at that gas. Oh,
Wow,
my God, what a bounce he's had come up for him. And Earl is just going to trot his way into the try zone.
How impressive
Under
is
the
he
post. Oh, amazing. I'd put him down as one to watch for sure. The size, the speed. He's amazing.
At the end of the game.
Hey. All right, the game is just wrapped up here at the Atlanta Cup. We saw a couple minutes on our time clock, but we're not there. But we brought in a man very, very integral to this whole effort, is Gareth Noakes. Gareth, how are you?
I'm ecstatic that we're all over. There's, from what I can see, maybe a few sore bodies, but no major injuries, which is always a pleasing outcome in a pre-season game like this for both teams. I know we had a bit of a collision in that first half, but it's been played in fantastic spirit. It's great to see this level of competition of rugby in Bermuda.
All right, tell us how your role and how you're involved in this event coming together.
Well, this actually all comes together because there's a charity in Bermuda called Beyond Rugby, which John Layfield established about 6 years ago. Then he sort of roped me in to help him with some of the fundraising. I'm fortunate enough to know some of the Saracens guys, a bit like Jamie stood here next to my left, and we asked Saracens to come over. They took a leap of faith in us. They did a pre-season tournament tour here, took a training camp here, which has been unheard of. I think we've pulled it off, which is great. Yeah. And then we get to watch a game like this, so it's a win-win for everybody, and hopefully we'll raise a good bit of money for our charity, which is really sort of focused on at-risk kids in Bermuda at this moment in time.
All right, fantastic. And the booth wanted me to let you know that you got a lower third.
Look at that. Look at that. That's the first for everything.
For everybody
They've
watching.
even spelt notes right.
Quickly, leave it up
Put
there.
a
Take a
A in
picture,
notes.
Noxie. Come on.
You got it there.
This is one for the mantelpiece, mate.
Yeah, I know it is, absolutely. Guys, I've actually got to go and present the trophy, so I'm going to...
All right, Gareth, go ahead down there and do well.
Guys.
All right, end of the game there, and Saracens just wanted to run away. You see everybody getting together here.
This is brilliant to see at the end of a game. I love this stuff. It just encapsulates everything that rugby is about, everything that Saracens is about, everything that the USA Islanders is about. Look at that. Everything after a fierce 80 minutes of rugby, smashing into each other. They can get together for a huddle there and enjoy the moment together. That's fantastic.
Yeah, look at
everything that rugby is about.
What a great crowd. So we're wrapping up shortly. John Layfield, thank you for all your work, and can we get some final thoughts from you?
Thank you guys. It's just such an honor to have you guys here. It's such an honor to have Jamie George, all of the Saracens here. They're the best pro rugby club in the world, and it's such a boost for Bermuda and our program. The not only the way that we get the program, the word out there, but also what happens for our kids who are able to come and interact with these incredible stars. So it's a tremendous honor for us.
All right. Jamie, final thoughts?
Fantastic game, and like Noxie said, played in brilliant spirit, and fantastic way for Saracens to start their campaign, and laid a really good foundation for us to move forward.
All right. So this is the Atlantic Cup, and Saracens have just run away with it, but in the middle of the field enjoying it with this USA Islanders. Fantastic event for Beyond Rugby, great fundraiser for them. And this is John Broker with Jamie George and John Layfield, and we are going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much to Flow Sports. Thank you to Marty Miller and his crew, and that is going to be a great night of rugby.